Okay, welcome back to the training. This module is all about conversions and setting up conversion actions, which are all important elements for many reasons, but primarily because we want to tell Google what are the most important conversion actions so it can go out and deliver more of those. So here's how you need to go about setting that up. Over here on the left-hand menu, you're going to go to Tools and then Data Manager on the left. And then you'll see the Google tag right here. Now, you might want to make sure you don't already have it on there if somebody else has been managing Google Ads for you, or somebody, your web developer perhaps might know. But you want to make sure you only have one instance of the tag on there. So from here, you're going to click on Manage. And then we have here, click on Installation Instructions. Now, if you have one of these platforms, WordPress, Wix, Shopify, there are some integrations that make it very easy with Google Ads. So, or you can do it manually, which is typically how I do it. But whichever way is easiest. If you don't have one of those CMSs, which stands for Content Management Systems, then you can install manually. If you're not very techy, you might need your web developer to help you, but you're going to copy and paste this script. They give you directions up here that you can see about how to install that tag. So that's it for this first part, is installing the tag. So once you've installed it as well, you can run a test here and it'll crawl your website to make sure the tag's there. So go ahead and close out of that, and we'll move on to actually setting up the conversion actions we want to track. So a conversion action is anything we want the user to do, such as call us, book online, chat with us via live chat on our website, or request driving directions. And the reason that we want to track these actions is because we want Google to deliver more of these. And so it needs to know what those actions are. And once it does, Google will try to deliver more of those conversion actions. It's actually going to go out and find people that it thinks are highly likely to book an appointment or call us or ask for driving directions. If you don't set up conversion tracking, it's like flying blind. You're not really sure where you're going. So let's walk through how to set up conversion actions. So from the left-hand menu, go to Goals and then Summary. Now, the first goal that we're going to set up is calls from ads. So if you remember from a last module on setting up assets within the search campaign, I had you set up what are called call extensions, which again are under assets. So when someone wants to call you to book an appointment after seeing your ad, that number that you entered as a call extension will record a conversion action if you've set it up. So here's how to set that up. Click on Create Conversion Action. And we're going to choose phone calls, and then calls from ads using call extensions or call only ads, and then click Continue. Enter a conversion name, so we'll just call this calls from ads. Use the same value, we'll leave it at 1. Count, we want to leave that as 1 as well. In other words, if the person calls multiple times, we don't want to record that as multiple conversions, just one conversion. So call length, 60 seconds is not a bad time. This really has to do with how long does the call have to go on before Google counts it as a conversion action. So, 60 seconds is probably okay. You can go a little longer, but leave it at the default for 60 seconds if you're unsure. I think that's fine. Click-through conversion window is 30 days. So if at any time between when they see your ad and 30 days after that, if they call that number, then that will record a conversion. And then attribution, we'll leave that as data driven, and then click Create and Continue. Okay, you've set up calls from ads conversion action. So now anybody that sees our ad and wants to call directly right away can click the ad and they'll call directly to us, and now Google Ads will record that as a conversion action. Plus, it's going to look for more people that want to do that, because when we set up the search campaign, we set it up as maximize conversion, which tells Google, go find me as many conversions as you can. Now, when you're back at the summary page of conversions right here, you'll see phone call lead, calls from ads. No recent conversions because we just set it up. You'll also notice that this says primary. So there might be some conversion actions that you want to record and track and monitor, but you don't want Google to chase that behavior. So in that case, you would change that to a secondary conversion. So at least you can see it, but Google's not going to chase those secondary conversions. And then if you want to remove that conversion action, you can do that here. You can change to another conversion action and go back in there as well and change that. Now also click on edit goal. Let's take a look at that. So use phone call lead as an account default goal. Yes, we want to use that as a default. But what I was saying earlier is if you want to track conversion actions but you don't want Google to chase them, then you can set it secondary right here, and then you would save those changes. So what's an example of a conversion action maybe that you would set as secondary? Well, let's say there's a couple steps involved in booking an appointment. So maybe you have a book appointment button on your landing page, and then that takes you to the actual calendar of date and times. And once you choose a date and time, then you hit schedule, fill out your info, hit schedule, and you're booked. But there were 2 button clicks there. So if you're tracking the first button and the second button, you can kind of see, okay, I got 50 people that clicked the first button and only 10 converted in actually scheduling an appointment. So maybe there's something I need to do to improve the conversion rate once they're on that page. So that's an example of why you'd want to do a secondary conversion action. Likely you're not even going to want to use it or need to use it, so don't worry about it. The actions we're setting up are made to be set to primary. Okay, so the next conversion action to set up is a thank you page conversion action. So thank you page submissions can be used to track appointments that people book online. But for this to work, you have to be able to redirect people to a thank you page after they've booked an appointment from your domain. So here's an example from my website as an example, right? This is, you can see the URL up here. It's a thank you page. So somebody had submitted a request or a form, and then they get redirected to this thank you page. So the conversion action actually tracks the URL, which is why this works really well. So let's go ahead and set that up. Go back to your campaign, go under goals, conversions, and go back to summary. Okay, now we're going to create a conversion action. Click on website. If you're coming back in, if you closed out from prior session, it's going to make you do this again. So just hit scan. So we're going to now choose, you can call it book appointment. So go ahead and leave it that, event type. And we're going to choose page load, which is the thank you page. So go ahead and click that. And then you want to take the thank you page URL, which is that. Whatever that is on your page, of course, on your site. Drop that in. Click add. Save and continue. And in the beginning of this video, I already showed you how to set up the Google tag, so we're done there. Go ahead and just click done there. And there we go, calls from ads, book appointment. So anytime somebody lands on a thank you page after booking an appointment, they land on that URL because I set up a redirect that would go to that page, and then it'll fire a conversion action. Okay, so we've covered how to add the Google tag to your site. That's the first step in setting up conversion actions. Once that is added, you go ahead and create your conversion action. So click to call from the ads, booking appointments. You can do call tracking if you have a call tracking service, so you can track calls from the desktop as well. But setting this up is essential. Otherwise, you're flying blind. So let's go ahead, and that's the end of this module. We'll move on to the next.